Would you rather sell out for success?
Or take a risk and work on what you're passionate about, but be a starving artist? Welcome to The Off Note. I know this is a little different than our usual setup, but we're all about mixing it up. We're coming at you live from Ryerson, where Caitlin and I go to school, if you didn't already know that.
Yeah, we've pretty much got the best homework ever. Today's going to be very exciting. The music is what we're talking about. And if you didn't know we're singers, you should check out our other videos.
But we're classically trained first and foremost, and it's tough. Sometimes we wonder if people still appreciate classical music. And just because I can't belt like Katie or Carrie Underwood, it doesn't mean I'm not talented. Honestly, I can go on and on about this.
I know, and you have. But we're not alone today.
Oh, of course. How could we forget? The other super exciting thing about the episode is that two amazing music talents are joining us today, and we get to interview them.
I don't know if they're ready for this.
Who? Our viewers or our guests?
Both.
You're right. This is going to be madness. Today, participating in our Would You Rathers and other fascinatingly relevant questions are Lexi and John.
They're Toronto-based musicians who collectively go by the name Featurette. Yay!
So thank you guys for coming in with us. Very excited to have you here. So first of all, answer our Would You Rather. Would you rather sell out or be a starving artist?
I think you got to go with sell out and then starve.
Very nice. What about you, Lexi?
I'd rather starve and have a job on the side to cover the expenses, you know?
Very, very logical.
Yeah.
Very logical.
Totally.
That's why we work so well, you know?
One of each. So 5 is one of our favorite numbers here on The Off Note, and we're wondering, how would you describe Featurette in 5 words?
You can do this.
New.
You only have one word left. He just said you can do this, so.
Well, new. It's new.
You can do this new. Oh, that's so feature-ready. Hashtag feature-ready. Okay. No hashtags. So Lexi, you're a classically trained singer, and now this. What was the idea for a fusion music group?
You can't hear me?
Oh, all right.
Cool. One more time. So
That was pretty awesome. That was like ninja style.
So Lexi, you're a classically trained singer, and now this. What was the idea for a fusion?
I don't think that it was so much that we came up with the idea for a fusion as it just sort of happened. Like the first time we played together, it was sort of a folk thing. It wasn't even about, like, there was no classical background, didn't matter. We were just jamming, actually. I don't even think we planned it, really. And then stuff happened. Went crazy.
Actually forced her to sing.
Yeah.
Is what happened.
I believe it.
Totally. Oh, thanks, girl. So here's my question. What was the process like trying to bring together both of those once you established that it wasn't going to be just jamming and or folky, that you were going to go for this sound that you guys have come up with?
It was a process and a half. We started with just the folky jamming, and then from there, I guess you remixed the backtrack, and I went, what? And then it was like this whole new sound, and we ran with it, I think.
Yeah, basically, the folk thing, I thought, well, originally I thought maybe I might be, singing, I might become good at guitar enough to maybe do something smaller, because I usually lug drums around, and I hate lugging stuff around, right? So I thought maybe I can get a band where I don't have to do that. And so I practiced maybe for about, 5 or 6 months, and I was so bad. I was like, I have to do something else. So I basically just changed everything and made it all synthy and poppy. And
Nice. Yeah, we're piano players, so we know all about lugging around annoying instruments.
drums are worse. They're by far the worst.
You don't have to
like
carry
14
around a
of
grand
them.
piano. What do you think?
That is true. I've tried, though, just one time. Didn't turn out so good.
I'll talk about that.
Cut to that picture.
See, here I thought Lexi was dragging you into this, but it seems to be
Oh, no.
the other way around, John.
Yeah, well, I've been doing bands for a long time and sort of secretly writing music on the side. And I've actually been looking for a singer forever. Like, I looked through a ton. I actually had a bunch of male singers, actually. And then, I met her and I sort of forced her to do some songs. And she had like kind of a songbook that was really good. And I was like, you know what? Well, maybe she could be singing on this stuff. So I went to the sort of folk thing first. And then my secret agenda took over.
Oh, the secret agendas will
all
always
these tracks
come
that
out.
I've been writing for 5 years.
Okay, so if it was your songbook, what was the inspiration behind all the stories and the lyrics that go into this album?
Oh, I had a lot of spare time in high school, and I learned how to play the guitar. And from there, I was also piano playing. I was writing song cycles and stuff. I think you probably even heard them. But it was just a bunch of poetry, really, that I just stuck together. And in the end, we actually used some of them. Some of them are going to be on the album.
Awesome.
Nice.
Ta-da! Success!
So how are you guys incorporating your prior skills of classical music and obviously drumming into your album?
You start.
Well, I did jazz. I took a jazz degree, which is pretty much like next to, I don't know, maybe communications, the most useless degree you can ever get, because it doesn't matter if you take it, you have to be good at it, right?
Yep.
And there's not a lot of jobs. So my jazz training actually was the one great thing about going to jazz school is as a drummer, I got to learn theory and pop theory. And so that like allowed me to write songs that I would never be able to do before. So for me, anything that I've written is like, a drummer miracle. So that's how I've gotten into my, and she's constantly telling me, less drums, less fills. I'm like, come on.
More voice.
Yeah.
Not a rock
And
band,
she's like,
God!
that's how I was getting there. And then for her, she's really, she has all these fancy terms for things and like.
It's really hard to talk to
things.
each
I
other.
don't-
We have
never-
different music theory bases and everything, so when we're like nerding out at a computer, I'm like, it's a Neapolitan 2. He's like, that's just, it's a this.
She actually said that the other day, the Neapolitan 2 chord. I'm like, oh, of course. Yeah, just tell the guitar player to strum that.
We and all of our viewers know exactly what you're talking
If my
about.
theory teacher at U of T doesn't see this, I will be mad.
Okay, we'll send it to her.
So with all of your classical training, Lexi, do you think that there's a place for that training in popular culture?
Yeah, there's a lot of singers that have more training than you think. And I found for me personally, I had to rework a lot of things because just microphone technique is so different, but it's all about the air, right? It's all about breathing. So if you know how to do that, depending on what instrument you've played with before, you just rework a couple things and it's a different focus, right? The microphone's going to pick up so much right in front of you that you don't have to project anymore. But then on stage, it's all about performance, and that's what the classical training really taught me. So.
That's true. Do you think that classical vocalists can do classical work and still make it on the big stage, or do you think that they have to change?
Like 3 of them.
Like,
I'd finished my degree. I'm like, well, we'll try this again in 10 years.
Exactly. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us. I can't wait to hear more from you guys. And if our viewers want to hear more from Featurette, visit their Facebook page, Twitter, or their website, featurettemusic.com.
and keep an eye out for their debut album, Smoke and Mirrors, which is coming out soon, right?
We need the music just to show.